Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Put a Ring on It Season 4 Episode 6. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Yo, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. So you know that all of the couples are sitting there with Dr. Stacy, and she lets them know that they are going on dates at the same damn time. So Ricky is on his third date with Miss Red Hair and Kathryn's second date with Marcus. So Dr. Stacy said it's going to help them to demonstrate their self-control and see how they react when they see their spouse with someone else. In the next scene, Ricky and Kathryn are at home talking about the dates like the friends that they are. Honey, because y'all ain't nothing but homegirls and homeboys. Okay? It's giving partner. And Ricky, I'm getting so sick of looking at on and seeing men strategically place their hair ever so near their forehead. Baby, we already have dealt with that over on Ready to Love with Andre, honey, and we have let him go. It was his last night, okay? I'm going to need you to take that plait and push it to the back, okay? Moving forward. So they sitting there talking about the date like the friends they are. I'm sorry, y'all. I just had to get Ricky together real quick. Ricky! Fix that damn hair, it's out of control. So he asks how she's feeling about the date. And she's like, well, you know, I'm ready. I'm ready to give the energy that you're giving to Sheila. Ooh, the shade. And you know, Ricky didn't catch it because he don't be paying no attention, child. He just be sitting there looking crazy. So Ricky's talking about, yeah, I'm just learning. I'm learning from my girl. I'm just learning. Sir, you are dating this lady. You ain't learning nothing. So then Marcus shows back up for a second date with Kathryn. And Marcus is a little bit too much for me. Now, he might be somebody else's cup of tea, but he be doing team too much. So he comes through and they're matching. He all geeked. And Ricky over there thinking in his mind, thank you for taking her. Thank you for taking her. It was as if Ricky could care less that Kathryn was going on this date. And Kathryn, you are such a pretty lady. I see you, are a very confident lady. I don't want you to dress so much older. You kind of give me like carpool lane. I want you to really zhuzh it up. You can really zhuzh it even in your casual clothing. It gives going to drop the kids off. Ricky done had you in that house so long that now you have taken the personality and the wardrobe of a woman that goes to drop their kids off and then goes to get some coffee and comes back home and gets some things done. No, girl, you are still young. You don't have any kids. You still got a cute shape. Baby, put your clothes on you like you're going on a date with a fine man and get rid of that fanny pack. I just have to tell you, honey, I'm speaking directly to you. In the next scene, Jasmine and Zay, they're at the house and she's not feeling how much he was able to hear his date and remember what his date was saying, but he can never remember what she's saying and he doesn't listen to her. She's like, why don't you listen to me? And why did you listen to her? He said, well, she activated my listening skills. She activated your listening skills? What are you, a superhero? You can't activate someone's listening skills. Clearly, you don't respect Jasmine because you don't damn listen. Because part of respecting a person is listening to what they have to say, especially if you're dating them. And I would be done talking to him because he takes her as a joke. I really wouldn't even have a conversation with him, but that's just me. So she wants to know what's the difference between her and his date. Don't even worry about that. Don't even worry about asking him that because you already know that he doesn't respect you because of his friend. If he respected you, he would have checked that friend and dismissed that friend a long time ago. He's like, well, I be listening. I do. I care to listen to what you have to say. I just don't reply all the time. Anyway, he would really upset me because it's like talking to a brick wall and I don't like talking to people and getting absolutely nowhere. Moving forward. In the next scene, Kathryn and Marcus get to the bowling alley. Baby, Kathryn done rejudged and refreshed that wig. I said, oh, okay, girl. Okay. Not you done refreshed the wig, honey. Well, let's get into it. Look like she, flat ironed it and she's ready to go. So they started bowling and I feel like they actually look good together. They match more than her and Ricky, and his date matches more than him and Kathryn. It's really crazy. Ricky's date though, baby, she put anything on. She put anything on for this day, baby. It was looking a plum fool. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or what, but baby, that's not my steez. It's not my thing. So they arrive to the bowling alley. Meanwhile, Marcus is telling Kathryn how pretty she is, touching her knee, kissing all on her shirt. I'm like, what is all this carrying on? Honey, it's giving production told me to do it. Like, it's giving too much. So she was like, yeah, the PDA is something that I want from Ricky. Okay, so let me get this straight. Ricky gives nothing. No car, no affection, no stability. And what do you see in him? What do you see in him? Girl, Marcus rubbing all over, kissing on her neck, right with Ricky within ear and vision shot. They're acting at this point, because what is this? Like, what is this? Over on the other side, Jasha and Joya, they're waiting for their dates. And then we see a confessional by Jasha's date, Brittany. Josh got this bridal necklace on. And she's talking about how she was surprised because his girlfriend seems extra. So she's surprised that she got a second date. Well, I'm here to tell you right now, Miss Brittany, you seem like a nice lady. But the reason why you got a second date is because Joya and JJ, they're playing a game. Okay? So she shows up to pick up Jasha. And Joya is not happy, especially with how she looks in that workout gear. Brittany is like, you got on workout clothes. Where you going? She said, oh, I'm going with y'all. Honey, I know that's right. And then he was sitting there loving the cattiness. He liked the fact that they were kind of like not fighting over him, but just being catty with each other because it gave some zhuzh, honey. Boy, gone. Over at Jasmine and Zay's house, honey, he got on a full-on suit. Do y'all hear me? I'm talking about a full-on suit. She said, are you interviewing someone? Why is he dressed like he getting ready to go to a funeral? Oh, Jasmine. I like Jasmine. She said the last time I saw this, he was going to a funeral. He loves to rile her up. I think he purposely does things to get a rise out of her. He too childish for me. I wouldn't want to deal with him. First of all, I wouldn't want to deal with them big cubic zirconia earrings in both ears. And I definitely would not want to deal with his antics. Sir, what are you doing? Like what? So then Naya, 31, she shows up. She's an entrepreneur and she loves to have a good time. Now, Naya was a beautiful lady, very pretty, very put together. She looked very nice. So she comes inside. And so Zay sees her and he's like, oh, I'm not going to lie. You pretty. No disrespect. You got to up the ante. You pretty. Why would you say that? So Jasmine is like, wow, that was so disrespectful. This is what she's saying in her confessional. I'm not sure why she's even wasting her time with this disrespectful jerk, because a woman as beautiful as you are, Jasmine, could find someone that knows that she's worthy of respect. Because I wish my man would sit in my face and tell me how pretty another woman is. Like he was just in awe. Ooh, she's pretty. And the crazy part is her and Jasmine kind of favor a little bit. Like they could be in the same tribe. They kind of favor. So Zay and Naya, they show up to the restaurant, right? And I feel like they also look like they match aesthetically. But that is because, to me, she kind of favors Jasmine. So when they were walking in, y'all know what they were reminding me of? They were giving Kai and Darion vibes on their first date. You remember how they looked on their first date like they matched? That's exactly what they're giving me. So they started talking about his relationship and the problems in the relationship. And so then we see Sean Carter, which is Jasmine's date. He's 37. I could not believe when he said 37. He had the most baby face that I have ever seen. He looked so young. I would give him like 27 or 25 at best. I was like, 37, really? So anywho, 37, a network engineer from South Carolina. And so Jasmine comes up, but I want to know how old Jasmine is. That was a very pretty dress also, Jasmine. So Jasmine comes up, he was very gentlemanly. He gave her half a dozen roses. He, opened the door as she walked in. So when they walk in, Zay gets choked up. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they walked in. So they walk in, Zay looking crazy. So in the confessional, Zay talking about, yeah, they gonna bust up in here. He looking like he about to sell insurance. Well, what do you look like you about to do? Because it looked like y'all can be in a cubicle next to each other if we talking life insurance. So I really wouldn't be talking about how he looking when you looking how you looking. Have you seen you? Anywho. So they sit down and Jasmine is telling him, that she's from Brooklyn. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Honey, I know that's right. I love me some New York, if y'all didn't know. So anywho, that's a side note. So she's telling him that she's from Brooklyn. He's like, I actually woke up one day and said, I need a girl from up north. Sure you did. Now at first I was like, Sean about to get on my nerves. Okay, he got that little jacket and it's tied tight in the back. He finna get on my nerves. But things got better. So let's continue. He said, I like that y'all can be so aggressive. No matter where she's from, that doesn't mean she wants aggression or she will be aggressive. They really trip me out when they just act like women from New York are just stomping around in Timberland boots and big jackets, acting a fool all the time. Like, I just don't like that. Just because she's from New York doesn't mean she's aggressive. I don't know. Maybe I'm sensitive, child, but child, let me say, that's like when people say to me, oh, you from the South? Oh, you country. Yeah, I have a little twang, honey, but I'm not country. I remember visiting my cousins that live up north, and they were like, ooh, we can hear your accent. Ooh, we can hear that. Ooh, heck, hear y'all. They act like when you live in Houston, you ride down the street on the freeway on horses and drive a tractor to work. That's what they envision. And I don't like when people just say, oh, I'm from Texas. Where exactly are you from? Because there's a lot of Texas. Now, don't get me wrong. There are country parts of Texas. But if I say I'm from the 4th largest city in the world, you best believe I'm giving metropolitan, honey. Don't be acting like I'm just country. Okay, that's just a side note. That's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. At Zay's table, he's actually being all uncouth and he hasn't traveled outside of Atlanta. So he was asking her about her drink, and she was saying that it was spicy. He's like, I wonder how they get it spicy. Like they put hot sauce in it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Then he's like, yeah, because I like spicy foods. Ugh. Just ugh. Over at Jasmine's date, he's talking to her about traveling. Now, mind you, Zay is acting like he ain't never traveled before. And her date is talking to her about traveling. So he was telling her like his favorite place to travel was Monaco. Okay, Monaco. I would love to visit Monaco. That's beautiful. Zay can't even focus on his date for watching over there with Jasmine. Back at the bowling alley, Marcus is still grabbing and touching, and it was too much. I know that, Kathryn wanted to get back at Ricky, but it was to a point of disrespect because y'all are not a couple and you shouldn't be allowing this man to touch you like that. It gave me that Marcus and Kathryn are a couple in real life and her and Ricky are playing a couple on TV because you know how I don't like to play in our face. So if you are her real boyfriend, please stand up. Because, baby, the way y'all was acting, this don't look like nobody that just met each other. Because if that's the case, Kathryn, you don't let no man touch all up on you and you don't really know him yet. So Ricky was like, yeah, what Kathryn is doing is a little bit over the top. But, I'm not worried about it because we have a bond. We have 10 years of friendship. Y'all know what I noticed? I never hear him say anything about loving her or being her man. They are the forever friends. Y'all might as well get friendship bracelets because you do not act like this is your woman. I think Marcus is being a bit over the top. I think Kathryn is being disrespectful. I'm happy that she is getting her attention, but just something about Marcus gives thirst bucket. Like he'll do that to anybody. I don't know. I just don't like it. So Ricky's date is trying to give him a clue on what Jasmine needs from him. And she's like, well, you could try it on me first. One thing about Sheila, though, that I noticed, Sheila gonna eat. Every single date, Sheila has had a wing, a fry. Sheila is gonna eat. Back over with Marcus and Kathryn, he up there feeding her wings. Baby, when I tell you she took the most aggressive bite out of that wing, I said, this is the most unsexy wing eating I have ever seen. These two are acting like Ricky don't exist. Meanwhile, he over there kind of fuming a little bit. I think he cares, but then again, I don't think he don't give a damn. I'm confused. I'm really confused. So Kathryn was asking Marcus, why are you single? He's like, yeah, I keep business and personal separate, and now I'm making time for the personal. Huh? Sir, I hope we all separate business and personal. I don't know, child. I just really don't know. Okay. So she tells him that she's been trying to prioritize herself, but it's hard. So she's been trying to get herself prioritized and a little bit of her time within the home because there's so many people. He's like, what? So you have to prioritize your own time? So she basically said that's what she's been trying to tell Ricky. And he wants to know, how long are you going to endure this? Like, how long are you going to let this go on? And I thought that was the best question that you could have asked, Marcus, because we all want to know, Kathryn, how long are you going to endure this madness? He's like, well, 2 halves make a whole and 2 wholes make a couple. Now, Marcus, Marcus. I like that, Marcus. I really do. I really do. Two halves make a whole, and two wholes make a couple. Baby, put that on a t-shirt. Now, I know it's probably been said somewhere else before, but I've never heard it. Moving forward. Marcus got all these smooth answers, these smooth operator answers, but I just want to know, how real is he? Because it's confusing. He's like, speaking of intimacy, let me get a little closer. Kathryn has been so deprived in every single aspect that she is eating this up. It's giving, I've been in the Sahara Desert for 30 days and I am waiting for some water. That's exactly what it was giving. Ricky would be the desert and Marcus would be the water. So she said Marcus makes her feel like a natural woman. No, I'm just kidding. She said Marcus makes her feel like they could have something real. Now, me personally, I don't want her with either one of them. Marcus can't be trusted because I feel like he do this with everybody he go on a date with. Ricky can't be trusted because Ricky don't give a damn about you. And you need to get out that mama house. I would not want to live in the family home with the family car, with the family kids, with the family. No. Back at the restaurant, Zay is sweating bullets because Jasmine's having a good old time, acting like he's not there, paying him dust. So he's trying to hold a conversation. So she's telling him, yeah, I'm really attracted to you. Really? That suit got you feeling like that? Okay. He was like, well, it's good to hear that from somebody else because when you be with your person for so long, it's just good to hear from somebody else. I appreciate that. Over on the other side with Jasmine and her date, he's telling her that he needs a woman that's going to keep him in line. And she was like, yeah, but be respectful because at the end of the day, that's the key. Because no matter how much you didn't mean to say what you said, you cannot take it back. Back over with Zay and his date, she's telling him she's attracted to him. But she's like, ooh, I don't know how to feel about that because you're over here telling me, oh, I'm so happy and my girl this and my girl that. And so it makes me kind of feel strange. Yeah, he ain't paying you no mind, sis. Like none. He's like, yeah, but my woman is right across from me. What you want me to do? Like, I can't focus because she's right over there. She said, yeah, I noticed she was back there. He said, you mean Jasmine? Why are you saying she? Because she don't know that lady. What she said was right. It's not like she said, oh, I know she over there or whatever. No, she said, oh, I know she's back there. That's how you would say it. So he was pissed at her dismissing his feelings about his woman being on this date right across from him. He said her name is Jasmine. She needs to put some respect on her name. It's funny how you have smoke for this lady, but your friend, you let him get stupid and say he was going to slap her in her face. I find that very interesting. You're the type of man that'll buck up on a woman, but when it comes to a man, you ain't got the same smoke. You don't have nothing to say. So therefore, thus and such, I really don't have that much respect for you, Zay. But maybe that's just me. Moving forward. He's like, well, you're supposed to say Jasmine is back there, right? Okay. Jasmine is back there. She said, oh, my bad. Girl, let me tell you something. If I were you, I would leave him right there. I would ask them to pack up my food to go because, honey, I'm not leaving my food because, I'm paying for the date and whatnot. I would pack up my food and I would leave him sitting there and he could continue to look at Jasmine from across the restaurant. He wanted to call you pretty in front of his woman, but now when he sees her on a date, you can't be bothered to even engage in conversation with this lady. That's rude. Meanwhile, Jasmine is not even paying him no mind because he done pissed her off earlier talking about she needs to up the ante and the girl was much prettier than her or whatever it is he said. He pissed Jasmine off. So at Jasmine's table, they're talking about his diet. He said he only eats chicken and turkey. So she was like, why do you do that? He said on his mother's side of the family, they're predisposed for hypertension and cardiac issues. And he said that that's what killed his mom. And she passed on his birthday in his apartment. And Jasmine was like, well, you know what? I can relate because my dad passed. He said, my dad passed during the panini. I feel so bad for him. Losing both parents and the way and the place in which she went home. Oh, no, that's got to be terrible. I imagine that must be a hurting feeling. I don't know how it feels firsthand, but I can only imagine. So she was like, so what do you do when you miss her? Let me tell you what I loved about their conversation. It was so authentic. Jasmine was so engaged. And it wasn't giving TV. It wasn't giving, what's your favorite color? Or what's your sign? What you like to do for fun? What do you do when you miss her? I just thought that was so beautiful. I'm like, okay, this is beautiful. He said, even if she's not here in the physical, if I want to talk to her, then I just talk to her. like I would the ancestors. I just talk out loud to her. And so he tells her, the journey that she's on, he's right behind her. Okay, I can see that Jasmine needed to talk to him because his attentiveness and the way he listened and gave feedback should show Jasmine how important it is to have a person you can talk to. I wouldn't want no ring from Zay. He couldn't give me no ring because it wouldn't mean anything to me because I know he doesn't take me seriously. And I feel like she deserves that. So then they make a toast and I'm happy to see she enjoyed her date. In the next scene, Britt and Jasha, they show up to the gym arm in arm. Oh, Britt got a little problem, honey. She a little touchy one, ain't she? She need to get over there with Marcus. Her and Marcus are like neck to neck. So they start doing stretches and Joya shows up. Not Joya's date, Jacoby, coming to the gym with a chain on. He's a goofy. You're a goofy. Okay? And I found out you be in them skits with Country Wayne. Honey, this is not a skit. Y'all showing up to an actual gym. Okay? Getting ready to do actual work. Like it's given he thinks he's still in the skit. Child, this is a fool. So they walk in. Brittany is in this sumo pose. She's like in the sumo position and Jasha is behind her. Well, baby, Joya didn't like that. So they go over, they speak, and Jasha goes, yeah, I mean, you iced out at the gym? Here he go. Yeah, to let them know I'm on a different type of energy. Yeah, silly energy. It looks like you stunting. It looks crazy. So Brittany is basically like, y'all need to go. Y'all are messing up our vibe, honey. Y'all are killing my vibe. So she dismissed Joya and her date. So they go over, they start stretching. Meanwhile, Jasha's over there boxing with Brittany. So then she stretches to the floor. Joya, that is. Okay, she got low to the floor. He's like, oh, I see why you've been around 2 years. I feel you, my boy. And he was like, nah, you don't feel me. He said, well, she yours. This is yours right here. I'm like, this is yours. Let me just, child. There's no way that I would be able to entertain him because he just gives me so much goofy energy. He really does. He is just so cringy to me. Stop with the shenanigans. And why does me being flexible mean that the man is going to stick around? Still worried about sex. That's all he worried about is sex. So Jasha goes, if we were in the street, he wouldn't be doing all that and wouldn't. Over on the other side, Jasha is telling Brittany about, how he feels about a person and how if they're not ready or willing to change or willing to be in a relationship with you, then you have to let them go. He feels like they already have kids. So if they don't agree, they may have to walk away from each other because he wants to make the family with the kids that he has. But this is the thing, Jasha, your daughter or son, I can't remember which one it is, they don't live in the home with you. I know you have a fear of the same thing happening and you being ripped from your child's home again and having to, uproot yourself and start all over. But if you continue to work on your relationship and you pour into it and you go in fearless, great things could happen. I understand fear all too well, and I think that's what is hindering him. But you cannot expect her to be stalled out because you don't want to make a move. And Jasha, you need to release Joya so she can find the one that wants marriage and more kids if that's not you. Like, you really need to go ahead and let her go. Over with Joya, she's asking Jacoby if he's ever dated a woman with kids. He said, yeah, when I was 22, she was a cougar. He said, I can't really take a woman with kids seriously. Like, the child is always going to come first. And I feel like I'm going to have to put her first, but I'm going to come second. You do realize that you're out on a date with a mom, right? So Joya, he's telling you up front that he wouldn't value you as a mom. Plus, it's giving jealous of the kids. And I don't deal with no man that's jealous of kids. That ain't gonna work for me. So she's offended by him saying that. And I would be as well. I mean, have your preference, but you're on a date and you're generalizing all single moms. And that's just not cool, especially what he says next. So he said, yeah, we can have some fun, but taking her seriously, I don't know. So we're just good to bed down, but not good enough to be dated and taken seriously because you jealous of they damn kids? Like, what are you talking about? I guess at least he's honest, but then he started to do too much. He's like, yeah, because, I'm at a certain level and I've worked to get to a certain level. And I need a woman that's top tier, standards wise. Not saying that the single mama not, top tier or whatever. So mothers don't have standards. I mean, I just want you to stop talking. You just need to stop talking. He was like, yeah, I just want to get up, jump, travel, but then she gonna need to find a babysitter. Like, let me call my mama, see if she can watch the kids. It's really no benefit for me. I understand that, because as single mothers, we can't just get up and go. There are certain things that we have to have in place in order to have a successful relationship. But if we want that, we will make it happen. Joya, this is what you wanted. Okay, a second date with a man that doesn't even deem you up to his standards. You're only good enough to have a good time with, aka sex. She's like, well, I mean, this is the worst date of my life. My man is over there getting his temple rubbed by Brittany, and I'm over here stuck with this jerk. Well, this is what happens when you try and make your man jealous. This is your fault. I would have left him sitting right there. She's like, Jasha doesn't even care that I'm over here. That's because he's focused on his date. You are too busy playing games with this goofy. You should have left this man at that first date. I don't know what he said to you that would even inspire you to give him a second date. He was talking about sex and sleeping with other people's women. And you thought he was going to feel some ways different about a single mother? Okay. And I'm wondering, is your mama married? Boy, goodbye. In the next scene, all the couples meet with Dr. Stacy. And so she starts with Kathryn and Ricky. So Kathryn tells her, that her date was nice. He complimented her curves. She was like, yeah, he even complimented my drip. He complimented my shoes. I'm like, see, that's how I know he lying. That's how I know he a lie. So she was like, yeah, he was just complimenting me every 5 minutes. And he noticed all the details of my outfit. I bet Ricky don't even remember what she had on. That's how much he care. Dr. Stacy says, Ricky, you need to hear that. That's what you need to hear. He's like, I mean, it's cool. They had fun. Dr. Stacy said, so you're not affected by any of this? He said, nah, I've always been like this. I'm cool with it. Well, when you were sitting over there with Miss Fiery Red Hair, when you were sitting with Sheila, you were acting like you were affected by it. Now, I don't think you were affected like that, but you were acting like you were kind of upset. So now you sit here in front of Kathryn and act like you don't care. Kathryn, he wants you to leave him first. Let's just call a spade, honey. He wants you to exit stage left before he does, so he don't have to do it. He wants you to go. Okay, because any man that sits here and acts like what Marcus was doing to you didn't faze them, they don't care if you come or if you go. Baby, they don't care if you stay. You can go at any moment. He gonna be all right. So, you need to wake up and realize what's going on. So the doctor is trying to get him to admit more. He's like, it's not going to make me want to change my actions or do anything like that. She said, well, do you feel anything? He said, not to be mean, but I didn't feel any emotions. Kathryn, that's your cue to let it go. I think you better let it go. It feels like another love TKO. Y'all are just friends. Ricky is too comfortable and he really doesn't care what anyone else does with his friend. He's willing to share his friend. And he also wants you to continue to go on dates so you can leave him the hell alone because he feels smothered by you, even though he decided that it made sense for y'all to live in the family home. He wants a break. And this is his break. So no, he doesn't feel any ways about it. He's excited to be able to do things without you. And he wants you to call it off first. I'm just saying. So Kathryn gets in the confessional and she's like, what's the point of being in a relationship if you don't care what I do? No matter how much Dr. Stacy tries to pull it out of him, if he doesn't feel it, he doesn't feel it. This is really a waste of time for Kathryn because he doesn't care what you do or who you do it with. So wrap this thing up. And that was the end of the episode. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly how you felt about this episode. I thought this episode was cute and it's getting better. It's picking up steam. I think that Ricky needs to get his mind right. Jasha has a strong silence about him. I respected him a little bit more on this episode because Joya's date was so outlandish. It was giving me the ick. And Joya, stop playing games, baby. Have a serious conversation with your strong but silent man and let him know what it is. Okay? What it is and what it ain't. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.